Hi guys, it's Thomas here from COTBase.com. Welcome to this week's Commitments of Traders review. Today we're going to have a look at the 14th COT report of this year, and as usual we're going to start off with the changes in commercials positions. Here we go. You may see we've got orange juice on top of our list with a 25% change in commercials positions, 28 in large speculators. You can see the changes here on the chart. They may actually be the largest change in the past 52 weeks time range. A pretty significant change sizes over here. But if you look at the chart, you can see that there has been a pretty decent movement in the price of orange juice last week. So towards the upside of the market, of course, and that means maybe this change in traders' positions is the signal at least comes a little bit late. So let's jump over to the 5-year chart and see how extreme the market is. You may see that we're more or less in between the two extremes, maybe a bit closer to the bullish side of the market. You can see that in the past 2-3 month or 4 month, basically, the report or the extreme signal is becoming more and more bullish as prices are going down. Of course, we're not surprised about that. But we're basically more or less in between the two extremes. So because of the COT change signal coming a bit late and the not too obvious COT extreme situation, I would put this market aside for now. Let's move on and have a look at the S&P 500, where we have a 24% change in commercial positions. You can see the change size over here. Here, of course, we're talking about a, of course, larger than average change size, but we do see similar changes and even greater changes in the past. Again, this is a bullish change signal, possibly affecting prices in the near term. The 5-year chart, here we go, is giving us a more extreme picture. We are becoming pretty bearish about the market. You can see how bearish extreme the market has become. Of course, we're not surprised to see that at such levels. Of course, you have to look at other indexes as well and see the correlation between them. But that's for sure that the COT Extreme is becoming bearish and signaling that maybe this 2400 level over here is the top. Moving on to rough rice, where we have a 21% change. In rough rice, this is of course a bearish COT change signal, and as you may see, since there was a rise in prices, this signal may be effective in the next couple of days. Commercials have just gone to net zero, and large speculators are net shorts. There's basically small speculators who are taking the long side of the market. Let's open the 5-year chart. Here we go. You can see that we're going closer towards bearish extreme levels. You may see that we haven't had such extreme levels for the last 36 reports, which is of course 36 weeks, so almost a year. The last major extreme was bullish. You can see we had a bit of a rise, but I don't think that can be considered as a change in the trend, which of course is, if you look at the chart, is definitely downwards. So we may need to be more patient, and we could see another drop back in prices after this extreme is just dying away, basically, the signal itself. Let's move on and have a look at the large speculators COT Extreme. We've got silver on top of our list with all-time extremes, both in large speculators and commercials. So that's significant. It is, of course, a bearish COT Extreme, but of course it has to be remarked that these all-time COT Extremes, of course, could be present in the market for many, many weeks, months before reaction happens from the market. So the report says that we should see prices headed back south. But if it's going to happen now or many weeks from now, that's of course the big question here. Feeder cattle with a 264 report extreme in large speculators is our next market. You can see we have an even greater 401 report extreme in commercials. Let's jump to the 5-year chart. Here we go. Huge dynamics in this market, as you may see. So large speculators above 15,000 contracts, net long level, huge extreme over there. Commercials, net short. That's definitely very, very interesting to talk about when prices are, as you may see, so low. Of course, if you look at the chart, I'm a little bit mistaken over there because maybe the next contract has just jumped over here. So there's still some space left to go downwards. But it's still a very, very interesting picture. Small speculators are also very pessimistic about the market. Let's see what the market did when we had such a similar case. And I think we should jump over here. Commercials, okay, maybe they weren't at such levels, but large speculators were. And you may see what happened back then. So that was a bearish COT Extreme situation back in 2014. And you can see that prices could not react. So that may have been a so-called commercial capitulation. And basically prices just skyrocketed from there. The situation is a little bit different now. We don't have rising prices, but still commercials are selling feeder cattle, which is quite interesting. I'll be very honest with you. I think this requires a little bit more in-depth analysis from you guys to see whether this extreme signal can be used in this market right now. Let's move on and have a look at the soybean oil market with 163 report extreme. Large speculators became net long and net short, and commercials became net long. You can see that we haven't had that for quite some time, actually. So since 2014, commercials have been net short about the market, and large speculators net long. So that's pretty interesting. It is, of course, it's a bullish COT extreme. You may see that it's quite obvious, and the timing is good. So it's definitely a better market to choose if you are interested in going into any of these markets I've been just talking about. So soybean oil, a good opportunity over there. Small speculators pessimistic, again pushing. That's a good bullish signal. So, but of course this extreme could widen to even greater extent. So caution, of course, is advised as usual. Okay, that is going to be all for this review. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you next week. Have a great weekend. Take care. Goodbye.